Welcome to the Helen Plum Library Board of Trustees meeting for April 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. The meeting is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Beecham?
The Helen Plum Library Board of Trustees unanimously acknowledges that many Indigenous people once lived on the land where the library now resides. The library invites all to learn their histories, cultures, and peoples. The library board encourages our neighbors to explore learning opportunities through local Indigenous-based organizations such as Midwest Soaring Foundation.
Thank you. Jen, can we have a roll call?
Allison Pinkenboy,
Here.
Sue Wiggins,
Here.
Julie Kowalski Smith,
Here.
Ginger Kearney,
Here.
Kristen Asenstad Walsh,
Here.
Bijou Patel,
Here.
Kelly Sims.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Rob, hi, welcome. We have a public comment.
Yes, good evening.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for allowing me to speak today.
Of course.
I wanted to come and thank the board for working so hard to keep this library open and inclusive to everyone, making it such a wonderful place for families such as mine. I actually have a couple of books downstairs I have to pick up for my son that we put a hold on to bring back to him. And I wanted to say that as a Lombard resident and someone who really appreciates the library, I plan on running for the board in the next election so that I can continue the great work that you have all done and assist with keeping my hometown library such a great place.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other proper comment? No, okay, moving on, may I have a motion for the adoption of the agenda?
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions, anything? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have a motion for the second action item.
I move for approval of consent agenda items. Approval of the minutes, regular board meeting, March 18th, 2026. Approval of financial reports, check register dated March 31st, 2026. Cash and investments report dated March 31st, 2026. Revenue and expenditures versus budget report dated March 31st, 2026. And balance sheet previous year comparison as of March 31st, 2026.
Any discussion of the
Second, I
seconds?
second that.
Yes, thank you, Kelly, second. Any discussion of the?
I have a question on page 8 of the packet. There is a line item Matthew Bender and Company, and then the Chinese Intercultural LLC. Just wondering.
Off the top of my head, I would have to look at that, for more detail.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, so, we'll let Ann get back to us on those. Okay, all in favor of approval of the consent agenda items? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alrighty, motion carries. Moving on to committee and foundation reports. Audit committee?
Did not meet.
Director Relations Committee?
Did not meet.
I know the lilac parade committee did not meet, correct?
They did not meet, but we did have, I want to
Have an
mention two
update?
things. T-shirts have arrived, so we'll be distributing those soon. And also the book bike is scheduled to be delivered this week, so.
Oh, we're excited about that. Okay, that's a nice update. Thank you, Ann. Okay, Policy and Bylaws Committee.
We did not meet. Our next meeting is May 7th at 3:15.
Okay, thank you, Julie. And Ginger, the foundation update?
Yes, so we made over $600 in the used book sale.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. We also made $150 through Rosemary and Jeans, which was in January. Sorry, I didn't have that information last meeting. And we will start going to the farmer's market on the 19th of May, so it's the first farmer's market. Then we have another one in June and then one in September. We're only doing a few this year, but we will take the book bike and have the book bike out to show it off. to talk about it, and we'll have some books there for a used book sale.
So exciting. Okay, thank you, Ginger. All right, moving on to unfinished business.
Oh, I did want to make one correction. I believe it was Sue that asked last month whether we're compensated in any way for hosting elections. We do get a $50 compensation for that.
Ah, don't spend it all in one place.
I think I had reported that I was like, I don't think so, and then the
Yeah.
check came and I was like, oh, we do.
It's like a certificate for ability of jury.
That's part of the agreement. I just wanted to make sure that that was noted.
The facility is being used for so many hours. I just thought.
Oh, it's like the check you get for jury duty, right? You
Yeah.
give up the whole day.
Exactly. So is it a check from the state, a check from the town, like
From the county.
county? Okay, thank you. All right. Anything else on unfinished business? Okay, moving on to new business. We have a presentation regarding the passport services. Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh, you need to be the board.
Yes.
Well, thank you for being here.
If you haven't met Adrienne before, she works in our patron services department. And I think she had, was credited with a clean sheet when we did a passport assessment a couple years ago. So she is very knowledgeable on our services. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, so I've been in patron services for 5 years and I've been doing passports that full time. And I am here to present on passports, my one of my favorite library services that we have to offer. So I wanted to start by just going over why we do passports here at Helen Plum Library. Passports aren't the first thing you think of when you think of the library, you usually think of books, but really we're in the information business. Beyond books, we offer access to databases and also access to experts who can give you guidance on where to get information. So that's really where passport services comes in. We're a group of agents who have an understanding of how passports work. And if you've ever Googled how to get your passport, you do know that there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of scams, there's a lot of contradictory information. And so having access to expert guidance in the community is a huge service. So as agents, who are we? We are 7 agents. All of us are in patron services. And we have 5 more agents on the way. 3 who are in training currently. And then 2 additional new staff who are interested in becoming agents once they're totally comfortable with their other responsibilities in patron services. Each of the 6 passport agents have received online training through the State Department. And we also, before each agent starts processing passports on their own, they also shadow passport agents, and then also they will do reverse shadowing. So when they first start doing passports, there will be another agent in the room helping them through the process and making sure that they're getting everything right. So by the time an agent is there adjudicating your passport, they have seen a lot of the different things that cannot come up during passports. And they've also received a lot of information about how that process works. On top of that, each agent does annual online training to keep up to date. And each agent also has to keep up with communication from the State Department that gives them a sense of any policy changes or any clarifications. The government is seeing that there's a lot of mistakes coming in a particular sort of category. They'll let us know. So it just keeps us always up to date so that we have both the knowledge that comes out year to year, but then also moment to moment. What we do in passport services, there's a couple of different things that we offer. First of all, we offer a variety of government forms, mainly to do with passports. We do passport applications here at the library, but we also offer forms for renewals, for special cases, anything that might come up surrounding passports. We have all of those forms available at the library, even if we wouldn't use them necessarily to do passports. here at the library. So we also field a lot of questions from patrons and we direct them to the proper resources. We direct them to travel.state.gov, which is the best place to go if you want any information about passports. And we also help direct people in the right direction for their specific case. Are they someone who's going to need to make an application in person, or are they someone who can do it themselves? We help guide them in the right direction for their specific needs. If you do need to make an appointment, we also make appointments here at the library. We'll get on the phone with you and walk you through everything that you'll need specifically for your appointments and for your situation. Go over all of that with you. We go over any questions that you might have about your appointment. And we really take the time when we're on the phone there to really go over everything with you. And then also we do appointments here. So we'll sit down with the applicant and make sure that the you that's in front of us is the same you that's on, that's on all of the paperwork.
That's key.
That's very key. The most important thing. And then we'll also really like go over your application with you with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that you're giving the best possible case to the government for getting a passport. So we'll check and make sure there aren't any mistakes on the forms, make sure that you have everything you possibly need in that appointment. And we take the time to make any corrections that we need to make so that you can make the best possible case for having a passport. And then each applicant also leaves the library with a flyer that goes over any questions that they might have for next steps. Gives them a customer service number, and also gives them instructions on how to track their passports. And then once all of the applications are done, we do mail those every night. And then the patron services manager tracks all of those mailings to the State Department to make sure that everything gets all the way to the State Department safely. So we track that as it goes. So those are the main things that we do. This is sort of what it looks like from a numbers perspective. This is how many applications we've processed by month in the past year. So that is between 25 and 65 passports per month. And we do those during time slots on weekdays and Saturdays. We offer appointments at 10 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays, and 10 and 2 on Saturdays. And we fill up pretty much every slot when we're making appointments out ahead of time. And then with the most popular times, sometimes we will be booking out a month or more in advance, and those are for those evening and weekend slots. They fill up pretty quickly, especially for families. So because we're pretty much filling up everything we can, the numbers don't necessarily reflect the amount of passport like need in the community. They're more reflective. The main factors that the numbers are reflective of are no-shows, last minute cancellations. Also, how many applicants are in an appointment. We do 3 appointments a day, but can be anywhere between 1 applicant in an appointment to all the way up to 5. So obviously with 3 appointments in a day, it can end up being really fast, the number of passports that you end up doing within that day, how many applications you end up with in the end. And then the third thing that is a major factor is agent availability. Whenever we know we're gonna be short-staffed, or we know we have a big program coming up, or are gonna be all hands on deck in the department, we do close off some of those application times so that we can cover all of the other things that we need to do in our department. So I also wanted to go over a couple of things that have changed and I'd say improved within our department over the years. In patron services, we're constantly trying to improve our passport services, and continue to have them meet, the goals like access and privacy, within, the larger library values. So one of the biggest things is we have really improved our scheduling system over the years. Some of you might remember back at the Maple Street building, you had to, it was all walk-in appointments, and during busy times, you had to just stand and wait in line, for an appointment. And ever since the pandemic, we have switched to an appointment model, which allows people to not have to wait in lines. And they know, and they get in and out, sometimes even if it's one person in 15 minutes. And they can predict, and we also can predict when people are going to be there. It's made scheduling on both sides ends a lot easier. Another thing is we're very excited, we're moving to a new scheduling software in the coming months that is going to allow us to send out email notifications ahead of the appointment, which, as I mentioned before, no-shows being one of the top reasons why we don't do more applications. We're hoping that there's a potential there to have fewer no-shows, which is very exciting. I will also go over in the email everything you need to bring to the appointment. So we've already talked about it, but it's just an extra reminder.
May I ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
So at these appointments,
Mhm.
the patrons come in or applicants come in with everything filled out? Or do you
Yes.
fill out the form together with them at the appointment?
So we asked all the patrons to come in with the form filled out already. And then we look over the form together, and sometimes we do end up filling out the form again, once we're in the appointments. We set aside at least an hour for every appointment. If you have everything together, it doesn't usually take more than 15 minutes, but sometimes we do end up filling out the application a couple of times during the appointments.
So then the applicant would just stop by the library, pick up the forms to take? Okay,
Yeah, you can pick them up at the library, we have all the forms here, and you can also get them online.
okay,
So it depends on the patron which one they feel more.
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Another way that we've improved our services is now that we're in this building, we have a private space where you can get your passports processed. So this is, I mean, just like a huge improvement. You can sit down while you're working on the process. You're in a private space. You're talking about sometimes very sensitive information during an appointment, and this allows us to have a consistent level of privacy that a patron would also expect going into any other part of the building where their personal information is being respected and not talked about loudly in a public area. And we now also have a computer and a copier in that space, so you can do the whole process right from there. And with that new space, we also have had the opportunity to add a more child-friendly space. So you can see here, we have a wall installed toy that children can play with during the appointments. And we've also taken some withdrawn books and some donated books and recycled them into this space. So a kid, and we have books at multiple reading levels, so a kid can sit down and also read a book or have a book read to them during the process. This has honestly made such a huge difference for parents coming in. You don't necessarily expect when you're going through a bureaucratic process like this, that there's gonna be something age appropriate for a child. And I'm honestly very proud that in our department, we're able to provide that kind of care for parents and for their kids. That even though we're not in youth services, that parents can expect that same sort of age appropriate space in other parts of the building. And I just see the relief come over so many parents' faces.
Yeah.
As soon as they walk in, they're just like, oh my gosh, and as you see there, the parent was like so excited when she's like, oh my gosh, like, look, there's toys just for you here. It's like actually set up in an age appropriate way. So that's been some of the improvements that we've made over the years to make the space accessible, private and comfortable for patrons to be in. We also are regularly having to keep up with changes that are outside of our control. As administrations change at the federal level, policies also change. So I wanted to include here at the end, just a couple of the changes that are relevant to members of our community. So, first of all, gender markers are the X gender marker is no longer available to patrons and applicants when they're applying for a passport. When you apply for a passport now, you have to put an F or an M marker. It's no longer an option.
Does that apply for renewals as well?
That applies to renewals as
Okay.
well. Yes. And another change, in a different sense is processing times. We are back to, pre-pandemic levels for processing, which is very exciting for applicants. I know it had been up to like 12 weeks, for routine passports, and now we're back to 2 to 3 weeks for an expedited passport and 4 to 6 for a routine passport, which has led to a lot fewer panicked patrons trying to figure out how to get a passport for immediate travel, yes. So, that's made a big difference in our community. And then one final thing, which has been in the news a lot, it doesn't apply to our library or our community, but it is something that we've been asked a lot, by patrons, especially, during appointments, so I wanted to include it as well. Is that some library facilities are no longer able to accept passports. They're no longer qualified to be acceptance agencies. And that applies to any library that is organized in nonprofit status. So it doesn't apply to our library. We are very much a government agency. And so we are still capable of doing passports here at this location. But it's been in the news that some libraries are having that removed, and so some patrons have been worried that that's not a service that will continue. But here at Helen Plum Library, we're very committed to continuing to do passport services.
Adrian, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Very informative.
Thank you.
And I got a tagline for it. You were saying that, you know, we have access to database and stuff, so now you're just giving people access to the world. Just a thought. You can work that into the.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. Next item under new business is feedback from recent events and professional development. Is that?
Ginger had sent some comments, but I just wanted to open up the discussion for any of the trustees that have gone to any sort of professional development events recently or conferences. I know we've been really busy, so I just thought I'd throw it out there as.
And you went to like Konai, did either of you have anything?
To add, no, it was a very nice event. I was glad I made it. Kind of got it under the wire. But no, I didn't have anything in particular. The topic, so last year, the topic was two authors, who's kind of talking about their different styles. This year it was about strategic planning, which we are doing a little bit of, and we've obviously done some to get here. So for us, it was nice to hear other libraries were working on it, but we knew a lot of what they were talking about.
Good.
Been there. Yeah, been there, done
I
that.
found this year's presentation more relevant.
Yeah,
I thought the
absolutely.
authors was interesting, but it not as a, like, for a trustee,
Trustees,
trustees, I thought this was
Yeah,
more
yeah,
relevant.
no, agreed. But again, we know a little bit about it,
Yeah.
so, all right, Ginger, we'll leave the floor to you, because we had quite a few updates. for
I
us.
do, PLA in Minneapolis was great. It's so fun to be around all the different library people, and PLA is public libraries only. So the academic libraries weren't really part of the programming, and so it focused very, very specifically on what we do. So that was a lot of fun. There were a number of great presentations. Sue asked me to go to the adults that are bad at tech. And it was very relevant, talking about how to help people who feel like they don't know about tech, but really it's not necessarily the person always, it's that tech changes so quickly. And that makes people feel uneasy about what they're doing because it's not like it was last week or last month. And so helping librarians talk to patrons about it. So that was really great. Another awesome program was called Beyond Drag Storytime. And it was, of course, talking about how a lot of LGBTQ books are being either banned or asked to be removed from shelves. And the presenter talked about hate grows from the bottom up like weeds. And we need to make sure that we chop down those weeds. So nip it at the bud. Make sure that you bring in not only LGBTQ books, but all of the marginalized communities into every display or every programming. As your, yes, opportunity, as you're looking at programming, so that you cover all of those bases all the time and not make it a 1 month or one holiday time idea that it goes all year, goes all the time, because our library is for everybody. And if you are of a marginalized group, that doesn't ever go away. You don't get to change your stripes is the way the presenter talked about it. So we need to make sure we have those ideas out all the time. Also bringing things back to that original point. So the Pulse Nightclub Remembrance Day is June 12th, and this really, it's one of those, oh, really moments where the presenter said you could either host a blood drive to bring it back to the Pulse nightclub idea, or something like Moms Demand Action Gun Safety presentation, so that you are bringing it back to that point. And I was like, that's so easy to do, but we don't always think about it that way. One of the other presentations that I really enjoyed was Gen Z library usage. Gen Z actually uses the library a lot, and they want books in hard form. They want the
What did you
paper
say it again, Gen Z?
from 13 to 19.
13 to 19.
So our teens.
Okay.
And the study was from the University of Portland in Oregon. It's been a 5-year study. So this is post-pandemic, and the kids in this age group spend so much time on their whatever device that they really enjoy having a hard book in their hands, that paper in their hands. They also, because they're reading a lot of graphic novels, those don't translate into ebooks very well.
Yeah.
And the way that this generation finds the books they want is from librarians' recommendations. They really want to talk to the librarians in those areas and ask, what have you been reading? Or what's the newest book? Or what's the best thing right now? And that's where they get most of their ideas or their recommendations. So if anybody else wants to read, I'll be happy to send my notes over, because I enjoyed it so much.
Okay, well, thank you for going.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, me too.
Anybody have anything else in recent events or professional development that they want to add?
I mean, I watched that FOIA webinar.
Yeah, me
too. And then the Oma ones is couple next week, I think.
Next week, yeah, April 30th.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. I do, so going back to last month when we were able to go to the Lombard Chamber event.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was interesting, and I'm not sure if the libraries already, you guys might already be on top of this, but I know like June 1st is the opening date for that green space at Yorktown. That it would be nice to have a presence from the library, and then once that green space is being used, like another great place to like maybe have a special story time or something like some events to
great,
bring
yeah.
the library to that space.
Outside
Which
town.
I know we've had a lot of good partnerships going, but that would be another one to look into.
I think they already have signs up for renting out those apartments over there.
Oh, yeah, those things are gonna go quick. Yeah.
Okay, so that may be it for new business. All right, moving on to communications. We don't need a motion, correct, Anne?
No, this
Okay.
is just the quarterly list of FOIA requests received
Okay.
and responded to.
I had to look up what one of those initials was. Um. Somebody who requested price, and I found out it was for. A depository of purchase orders. I had never heard of that organization before.
Hopefully.
Smart reader,
It's not.
Yeah,
yeah, they're pretty frequent FOIA requests, they're a few times a year, just for updated
Yeah,
transaction histories.
they'll do
A
it.
few times a year with us, we just get.
But they do local school boards as well.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
a common
It's public.
thing, yeah. I know in my school district, they'll be on the minutes every now and then.
Okay. All right, so then, that's it for communications on the FOIA review. Any questions or anything before we move on? Okay, executive director report?
Yeah, I just, I'm looking at my little post-it. I told you guys about the book bike and the t-shirts have arrived. I also wanted to mention that we have a temporary location for the Helen Plum Library sign. Our initial plan didn't work out, but still wanted to make sure you guys could actually see it up on the wall. So we're working on some solutions. The stud in the wall is not well placed, so trying to put an iron arm out in order to support the restored sign was impractical. So it's oddly placed right now, but we're looking for some alternative solutions or locations.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. The sign I'm referring to is the original Helen Plum Library's sign that we just had restored.
Out there?
So it is just on the other side of this wall, but
Oh,
like,
right.
so like you can see it when you walk up, but it's like comically high.
Okay.
So we're, yeah, like I said, we wanted to make sure you guys saw it on the wall and also address it's not staying there. It might take some time to find some alternative solution because you can't just put a iron hanging like arm into the drywall. We need some better support. So
Was it there before?
it was in storage before and
Oh,
we had it,
okay.
it used to live at the old building in the like local history case.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of off to the side and then we opted to restore it before putting it up again because
Okay.
the paint, I mean, it
Yeah.
was the original outdoor Helen Plum Library sign,
Yes.
so it needed some TLC, so.
Gotcha. I did too. I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
Oh,
And then. Nope, that was it.
okay, great, thank you, Ann. And then the library activity report, anybody have any questions, comments?
I just won, I like the collection, the certain new search improvements. That was
Yes.
really, it seems so like intuitive, but then like,
I
you don't
know.
think about it until you're like, oh yeah, the kids' games automatically get juvenile audience, so that's really great. I did have a question about, where it would be an example of the, chairs with wheels being replaced with glides. Is that-
So,
that was my question.
yes, so this is the computer lab.
Okay.
So really any of those blue periwinkle color chairs, they're not holding up well to the floor, so they're
Right.
sliding out on people, so we're replacing them with glides, which has its drawbacks in that the legs are designed to have wheels on them, so now the chairs are slightly short, which can be awkward for folks as well, so we are looking at alternatives for those
Okay.
chairs because they're not working out like we had hoped they would, so, but in the meantime, we can't have people falling, so we have to go for the safer option.
Right.
When I was using the scanners,
Mhm.
I was.
It's awkward.
I felt like I was,
Yeah.
doing this with my shoulders,
Yeah.
trying to work with the table.
Yeah.
Now it's C2.
Mm.
But I appreciate that,
Yes,
us older people, can't deal with those wheels. too much.
no, so we wanna make sure everybody's safe and then, we'll go from there.
Okay,
I had one comment with the marketing, the baby pictures.
Oh, yes.
That whole marketing program was so incredibly cute. It was just so much fun to see.
And the sign up that was done at Beacon Hill, my mom told me that 5 new contracts were signed in March, but people haven't moved in yet.
Ooh.
And you know, people are dying every month, so, those units go up for sale pretty quickly. So if we could, ask marketing to follow up with Beacon Hill, like every 6 months, to ask if they would like another event for new, patrons.
Yeah, I'll pass that along to Katie Cortese, our senior outreach librarian.
All right. I'm not hearing anything else on that, so it's a short meeting, I think. We have a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
I second, Ginger.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.